And as we wait to hear when President Biden will address the nation this week, he is set to meet with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu here in D.C. And just like any big visit from a dignitary, those of us who live and work in D.C. could be impacted. And Jess Arnold joins us now live near the Watergate Hotel in Northwest. And several road closures are already in effect. I was over there just yesterday. That fencing it's really in place there by the Watergate, Jess.
Yeah, they really have a heavy security presence here already that'll be here all week. You can see over my shoulder here a sign that shows a detour and a lot of road closures. Really only one road that they're letting people take right here, which is I Street behind me. You can also see these flashing lights as we have different security agencies, law enforcement monitoring the area. We also have multiple protests that are planned for this week. There are a couple scheduled for Wednesday when Netanyahu is expected to address Congress, one on the Mall, one outside the Capitol. I would not be surprised if we saw more pop up here outside of the Watergate Hotel, as well as throughout D.C., as we've seen protests for the last few months calling for a ceasefire here. Now, college students to celebrities have been calling for that. You know, I was out there reporting for weeks on end at George Washington University, where there was that camp out calling for, cutting ties with Israel, ceasefire in Gaza. Now, for a while, President Biden had publicly supported Israel, prompting some voters to say that he lost their vote. Over the last few months, though, he too has grown more critical of Netanyahu, at one point pausing weapons support. Now, there are talks of this long-demanded ceasefire, but the prime minister continues to push for more demands against Hamas, so that's a bit tenuous still. Now that President Biden has ended his re-election bid, though, the future of support for Israel in the conflict is uncertain, as is how voters will respond to the new Democratic candidate. Now, before getting on a plane this morning, Prime Minister Netanyahu shared some remarks on X about his visit. He said in addition to garnering support among Congress, he wants to thank President Biden for his service after knowing him for 40 years. Now, here's what else he had to say about his goals.
There will also be an opportunity to discuss with him how to advance in the critical months ahead the goals that are important for both our countries. Achieving the release of all our hostages, defeating Hamas, confronting the terror axis of Iran and its proxies, and ensuring that all Israel citizens return safely to their homes in the north and in the south.
Now, again, Prime Minister Netanyahu is on a plane right now heading to D.C., going to meet with the president and going to address a joint hearing of Congress on Wednesday. Now, if you have to drive around the city this week, avoid this area for sure around the Watergate Hotel, as well as multiple other spots around the city. We know the drill now when we have these big moments, dignitaries visiting the area, but always good to check before you head out the door. Guys.
All right, Jess, a little more incentive. I saw the tow trucks out too yesterday, so yeah. Don't make the mistake. All righty. Thank you for that. And we just put a list of the road closures for this visit this week on our website, WUSA9.com, and you can find it on our free mobile app.